The old master was shocked to discover that the way I offered blessings was exactly the same as what his grandmother taught him in childhood. Not only that, but even my gesture of respect was the most precise and traditional form from their family lineage. He couldn't understand at all how a girl raised in the countryside with no education could be so well versed in etiquette. What he didn't know was that I was once the shamanic senses from 80 years ago. Back when Japan invaded China, I used my spiritual power to slay Japanese warriors. After my death, my soul traveled through time and attached to my current body that had been lost and forgotten. And today was the day they brought me home. The old master got angry after reading my background because I grew up in the countryside without so-called proper education. When I stood silent, my biological mother mocked me coldly, saying I had no manners after being lost for so many years. But no one expected that in the next second I would perform a flawless ancient bow. Then I spoke calmly. Even though I didn't grow up by the old master's side, I carried the blood of this family, and nothing could erase what was engraved in my bones. After hearing that, the old master was clearly moved. The more he looked at me, the more he liked me. To make up for the years of loss, he immediately said he would give me 10% of the family shares. My father protested at once, but the old master scolded him harshly, saying he as a father had less character than me. He then ordered my father to take me home and treat me well. But I suddenly spoke up and asked to change my father. The whole living room went silent. I pointed at my carefree uncle and said I wanted him to be my father. My mother sneered immediately, saying I'd regret it because he lived a chaotic life. But I had my reasons, because I discovered that my uncle looked exactly like the war hero from my past life. I decided to set him straight and make him a true hero like before. The old master thought of how useless my uncle was, so he agreed to my request right away, though my uncle was unwilling. He had no choice under the old master's pressure. But as soon as we left the house, he looked at me coldly and said he only agreed to please the old man, told me not to cling to him, then drove off without a second glance. But I had already made up my mind to reform him. I teleported straight to his villa and slapped his gate until it cracked. My uncle was stunned. Seeing he couldn't shake me off, he reluctantly let me stay. The first thing I did after arriving was order the staff to throw out all his toys and junk. At dinner, I laid down 3 rules. No smoking, no drinking, no returning home after midnight. My uncle agreed on the surface, but sneaked out that very night. Midnight passed and he still wasn't back. This time, I wasn't going to let it slide. So I took a pool cue and went to find him. At the pool hall, my uncle was having a blast. He thought there was no way a little girl like me could control him. But just as he struck and pocketed the black 8, I caught the flying ball mitter with one hand. And crushed it into powder the next second. I stared at him coldly and told him to come home with me. He refused instantly, even saying he'd rather die than go back with me. Seeing his defiance, I challenged him to a game. If I won, he'd have to obey me from now on. He burst into laughter. He was a national pool champion. I had no chance. The match began quickly. He sank 6 balls in